item on the agenda is public input. I believe we have somebody who wants to speak.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay. All right. Mike, can you just give him the mic?
If you want to bring another chair up, you can bring another chair if you both can. Come on up to the table. Come on up to the table.
Rather not, I guess I will.
I'll just stand, that's fine.
We just wanted to bring up, my name is Brenda Petrosino, and we have twins that'll be starting at the good school in the half-day kindergarten, hopefully.
Mrs. Peterson, they've spoken to me.
Okay.
And my recommendation was that they write the letter that's in your packet.
Right.
And I invited them to come to public.
Okay.
We were
Before
just,
you begin, do you want a chair?
Oh, well,
Yeah. We feel all uncomfortable. We're sitting here.
I had attended the orientation this past February, and there was a question that was brought up of how many students were going to be in the hood school. And it was to our knowledge that there were 24 students with one teacher, no paraprofessional. I am a special ed teacher myself, although I am home right now with my kids. I'm very lucky to be home for the last few years. I guess I'm wondering why this is going on and why there's not a paraprofessional, why the class size is so large.
This is half-day kindergarten?
Half day,
Okay.
yeah.
That is very large class size.
And, you know, I'm not sure how much Dr. Manville has explained to you, but at this point in time, we don't set our staffing levels because there is still, especially with kindergarten, some move-ins that will happen. So what we will do, like around July or August, we will look at the class sizes. Whenever we've seen them climb this high, we have typically added another teacher and split the kids. And if the number splitting 24 wouldn't warrant that kind of activity, we would add a paraprofessional. If we don't have the funds to add to our staff, we would look at our existing paraprofessionals and prioritize where they should be placed. If they need to spend some time with the kindergarten class for a half a day and then go back to other duties, we would do that. Certainly we work within a very tight budget, so we won't come out at this point and say we'll add a teacher or we'll add a paraprofessional. But in the 15 years I've been on this committee, we've never allowed 24 in a kindergarten class to go through.
I mean, obviously, it's unacceptable. in
Right.
my eyes.
Yeah, I can tell you that we're working with Dr. Trogan, and obviously we have Dr. Manville here now. We'll have a new superintendent, hopefully after Thursday night, who'll be starting July 1st. But Maureen's been on 15 years. I've been on the board 6 years, and I know that every year the superintendent, in fact, in some cases, we've had to juggle money around. I know Carl can talk about this in the budget, because we've had a situation where we actually had to hire another teacher or two because there were just too many kids in a grade level. And that's sometimes difficult, but you know, because of the way the school budget is built and we can move funds around, we've been able to do that. Again, as Maureen says, I don't think we can guarantee it, but 24 with only one teacher, I think would be something that would stick out like a sore thumb.
Can you clarify something for me? Are there 24 in this year's class?
This year's class.
And there's no paraprofessional this
No
year?
para-
Why are we contradicting ourselves?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, there's 24 right now, and there's no paraprofessional.
I don't even understand why there's not even a paraprofessional in the class. I have called around.
Yeah,
I've taught for 15 years myself. I know people in other school districts. There's not one school district, whether it's 12 to 18 students, and that was the average size for where I called, that does not have one certified teacher and a paraprofessional.
Is your child in kindergarten right now?
They're going to be entering this year.
Oh.
And there's already 19 students in that class.
When you say this year, you mean in
Our twins will be coming this coming
September?
December.
But the situation exists now, we're saying we don't allow that to happen. So
Why isn't there, even if it was 18 students, there should be a paraprofessional there. It's not safe, they're not going to learn what the other children are gonna learn, they're not gonna be prepared for first grade. Why is there even not a paraprofessional in it? Even if it was 24 or 12, I have physically called other school systems of people I know who teach, and the average class size, some are 18, and that's certainly doable, but they all have a certified teacher, and they all have a full-time paraprofessional. And there's other schools in this district, the other elementary schools that do have paraprofessionals. I understand the full day, do as well. I personally believe with my expertise, if I'm able to be at home, and right now I am, that I don't feel kids that age are ready for a full day academic program. That's why I'm choosing to send them for a half day. They deserve the best, education possible, and they're not gonna get that if they're in school with full day students who have 12 kids and 2 or 3 teachers. So, I mean, I just don't understand why there's not even a paraprofessional in there.
Question that.
I don't understand that either. I thought there was always, I'm not questioning your telling
know,
us
I
that.
don't
I'm
mean to, but I'm
questioning
like, I
why
can't
there isn't
believe-
one, because I thought our policy was to always have a paraprofessional with a teacher in kindergarten
check.
classes.
Yeah.
I will let
Oh.
you know, the principal told us in no uncertain terms, we've met with him 3 times, that's why we're here tonight, and that's why we met, with your superintendent, who was very nice to us and gave us a few minutes of his time, that he was not intending on hiring a paraprofessional.
See,
And that's not gonna be
Yeah.
acceptable.
Our range for kindergarten, grade 1 and 2 is 18 to 22. That's the range that we would like to see student to teacher ratio. I would be very surprised to learn that a class of 24 does not have an assistant in that classroom.
Well,
I
it's
think
a
every
fact,
kindergarten
so-
does.
Yeah.
That's
But
why I don't
it's not-
understand.
It's even too big of a class anyway, but again, you could call around yourself, I certainly would.
Oh, no, we know the
I mean,
ranges and what districts do.
I can't even, in all the years I've taught, there's never been, even in Haverhill, in the big school district that I'm teaching with, I probably wouldn't even send my kids, so they all had paraprofessionals there, so there has to be room. And the budget's not safe, like I mentioned, they're not gonna learn them, and
Yeah.
it's just unacceptable.
And then there seems to be obviously some inconsistencies too, because if you talk, when I called the little school and the bachelor school, they had told me that their class sizes were approximately between, I think it was 14 to 18. But they, and I asked them if they had a paraprofessional beside the teacher, and they did.
Right.
So that's why there's no consistency that
Well,
way.
paraprofessionals are assigned to students with special needs as well. So if there's a student with an ed plan in that class, that mandates that paraprofessional, and they're not gonna tell you that. So
Well,
you
I know
can't
that
just,
being a special ed teacher.
well, you can't
but
just
there should-
assume that because there's a paraprofessional that they've got an advantage. They may have a mandated need for that. One of the ways we can resolve this disparity in class sizes without hiring new people is something we don't like to do, and it's spot redistricting. So certainly when you refer to like a class size at one school of 12 and one at 18, and then another school that could potentially be 24, we would look at the map and see what streets are bordering, in this case, the Hood School, and pull some of those kids down into that batch or little that have the 12 or 18. So that's another option that we won't hesitate to put in place, because we know 24 is just, the quality diminishes greatly in that class with that number of kids. That's our last resort. Our first preference is to get the assistants into the classroom.
I would say, however, that I am surprised that there isn't a para there, and I'm glad that this was brought to our attention, because I would strongly recommend to Dr. Manville, and it's mainly going to be on the new superintendent, because that's usually when we make those decisions in the summer months, that we look at that situation. I think if it's anything over 20, you have to look at that situation, and it requires, in my opinion, a paraprofessional. So I think that, one, I know Dr. Manville will look into it, but 2, if you could make sure you keep on top of the situation, and which I'm sure you will, and communicate with us and Dr. Manville and the new superintendent, so we can, be in the loop and hopefully make something effective happen. That's what I'd like to see.
I can speak from direct knowledge about the batch kindergarten half-day, and there are 2 19-student groups in the half-day. The full day, I believe, is 20 and 21. In the half-day, paraprofessionals come in for specific children, for specific needs, and to pull one way or another in helping. But that's the current situation in the batch this year.
But why isn't there a full-time paraprofessional in general, just in the classroom with them?
Apparently, that's been a decision that it's unnecessary.
We're gonna find out.
Right. I don't,
That doesn't settle well.
right, doesn't sound like me at all
Yeah.
either.
I mean, I have looked at private kindergartens, but I don't wanna send my kids full day, and they are full day, and it's it's not even, you know, it is about the money, yes, but it's not even, it's about the quality of education and, you know, it's not.
We're shocked to hear there would be 24 kids in a kindergarten class without a paraprofessional. So Dr. Manville will check it out, and if that is the case, then we have enough assistants in our buildings that that principal can draw somebody into that classroom as needed. So, and our paraprofessionals, you know, they participate in professional development. Many of them are overqualified for their jobs with hearts of gold. So there's never a reluctance to help any teacher in a classroom. So we'll make sure. And like Mel said, we really appreciate you bringing it to our attention. You say that you moved to North Reading because of the schools. Not only are our schools top-notch, but we welcome this type of input. So don't ever hesitate to contact the superintendent or to come before us with any of your concerns.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
your
very
time.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have, next on the agenda is a student report.
For starters, report cards and, of course, vacation are this Friday. The junior class is doing a fundraiser. They're having a hypnotist do a show tomorrow night at 7. Spring Fling was last Friday. Relay for Life has a meeting for the youth teams tomorrow at 6. Saturday was the ACT and also a practice AP calculus exam. And this coming Saturday, there's another practice AP US exam. Our Model UN went to Northeastern this weekend for a Model Arab League, and they won honorable mention. Chorus and band trip has a meeting this Thursday. The Spain trip leaves Friday. Track had their first meet on their new field versus Malden last Wednesday, and the girls team won. Our second Hive group was on character, and it was 2 weeks ago. For the junior and senior classes, there was Invisible Children and Yellow Dress. Actually, Invisible Children is for all grades, but the Yellow Dress was another presentation we saw. Maskers the Miser went to States, and Andy Ty, Leanne McNall, Lauren Thacular, Caitlin Rubin, and Chandler Metcalf won individual awards. SLAM applications are due this Thursday, and Student Council had a NEMAS conference at Calhoun's last Thursday. And although it is my 4th quarter senior year, I will still have student work, and I'm in chorus class. It's one of my electives, and now that we finished up with reading music and learning how to sight read and practicing different intervals, we're preparing for a variety show, which is going to be our last big grade, and it's June 3rd, and our theme this year is 70s. So for the past couple of weeks now, we've been learning various 70s music, and rehearsals are just starting this week after school every day to learn.
1970s or people in the 70s?
You qualify for
Big
both.
difference.
You qualify for both, right?
Disco days.
Cliff and I were interested.
I'll let Mrs. Kane know. So we start rehearsals in class and after school, learning dances and tech crew, painting different flats, and anyone can participate in it. You can audition if you have ideas. If you play an instrument, guitar, piano, anything, Mrs. Kane is more than welcoming to let those students join. So until then, we're just preparing, and we hope to see you all there on June 3rd. It'll be a good show.
I want to say that this is the first time I felt relevant to my daughter's life since she's been born. She's 18 now, because she's actually asking me about music and songs of the 70s. So I really feel good. I really feel good about that. Yeah, I got my my platforms, my wide bell bottoms, and my flower shirt, and things were great. So.
Yeah, I was born in the 70s, so,
Oh,
you
wait.
know, it is my favorite decade.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the only music you can really dance to.
Keith Davis out in the
Disco.
60s.
Lean Julio down by the schoolyard was my assigned solo song. So I didn't even know what that song was.
Oh,
I've
that's
been
a great
listening to it
song.
on repeat now. I love it.
Now, are you going to play that on the violin, or are you singing?
I'm singing.
Oh.
But you never know.
I bet the costumes are gonna be great, that's what I want.
I know this. They've been doing some Elton John songs. I know.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh,
one of my
yeah.
favorites. And
Cool.
then, of course, my daughter said, Dad, leave me alone, because I said, Libby, here's a list of about 40 great songs from the 70s. She said, Dad, enough. Because